Well, hello everybody, it's me, Alfie. I'm back for another video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about something that I've already talked about on my YouTube channel before. If you know, you know. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the movie Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. If you've been on my channel for a few months now, you might know that I've already talked about this film 2 times already on my YouTube channel. The reason I talk about it quite a lot is mainly because of just how underrated that it is, and mainly because the future of the film is quite uncertain as of this point. And it's one, and it's what, if I'm going to be honest, this movie is one of my favourite films from the last year, and and as of the time I'm recording this, yeah, Ruby Gillman's anniversary is just a couple days away. I'm going to be premiering this for its 1 year anniversary. But here's the thing though, this 1 year anniversary is going to be very bittersweet, because for those of you who don't know, Ruby Gillman actually bombed at the box office, meaning that as of the time I'm recording this, a sequel hasn't been announced, and hell, they haven't even announced a short film or anything. Like, how can you have an ending that ends on a cliffhanger and not give it a short film? So yeah guys, in today's video, to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of Ruby Gillman, I am going to be talking about what a sequel could possibly look like in terms of story and characters. Okay, hear me out, please, just hear me out. Before you go commenting on what a terrible opinion I have, please, just sit tight and let me explain. Because if there's one thing I've noticed throughout my time on YouTube and the internet, it's that there are a lot of people out there who do not tend to listen. They just jump to conclusions and they just make stupid jokes in my comment section. So yeah, please let me explain. There are multiple things that DreamWorks could do to get a sequel to Ruby Gillman to work, and not just make it something like Megamind 2. With that all out of the way, in this video I'm going to be explaining why a sequel to Ruby Gillman needs to happen. So, as I said a minute ago, Ruby Gillman bombed at the box office. So you're probably wondering, Alfie, why does DreamWorks need to make a sequel to Ruby Gillman? It's unlikely considering it bombed at the box office. And to that, I see your point. But considering that there's other DreamWorks films like Trolls World Tour that didn't do well at the box office, and yet that managed to get a third movie, and Puss in Boots also did, well, it did alright at the box office, but it was mainly just reviews. It got very mediocre to negative reviews from people, but look at how that turned out. That got a sequel, and that became one of the most praised things in recent years. So with films like Trolls and Puss in Boots being able to get a sequel, and even, or hell, even The Boss Baby being able to get a sequel, and all of them being successful, maybe it could work with Ruby Gillman. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, but it's still unlikely though. Well, hear this. The director of Ruby Gillman actually stated in an interview that there are a lot of things that he couldn't include in the movie and that he wanted to explore. Believe it or not, he even goes as far as saying that he has a lot of ideas that he would like to use for a sequel. He even goes as far as saying that he would like Ruby to fight a Leviathan or a Leviathan, whatever you call it. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. But, yeah, so a sequel is actually possible to despite Ruby bombing at the box office, which is what I'm going to be looking at now. I'm going to be looking at characters and story for this possible sequel. Now, as of for casting, you're probably wondering, am I going to choose who's going to play these characters? Well, no, I'm not, because, well, I'm very bad with celebrities, and I don't want to pick a celebrity who's too controversial, if you know what I mean. So, if you want to pick a role for these characters that I'm gonna tell you about, then please do that in the comments. I don't really want to do it, because I don't want to pick a celebrity who's too controversial. But yeah, what could the story of a sequel to Ruby Gillman be? Well, there is multiple things that we could do to get a story to a Ruby Gillman 2 to work. For example, we could like go with what the director said, have a Leviathan or a Leviathan. I really don't know how to pronounce it. So have a fight with Ruby or something. I think that would be quite interesting to see. As of a whole time skip thing, I think it would be really cool idea if it took place like a good couple of years after the original, where Ruby is like a young adult or something like that. Like, think of How to Train Your Dragon and Boss Baby. Those are good examples of how a time skip in movies could work. So I think it could work with Ruby Gillman as well. Um, as for like the mermaids, I feel like there's also a lot of mermaid characters to be explored because the director, judging from what the director said, we can probably expect more mermaid characters to be in a Ruby Gillman sequel because of what he said. He did say in an interview that if we do get a Ruby Gillman sequel, he'd love to explore the idea of having new mermaid characters, which I think would really flesh out like the villain of the original film a bit more. But you're probably wondering, is there any more ideas I have? Well, yeah, there are a bunch of other ideas for a Ruby Gillman sequel to work as well. Like maybe it could, maybe it doesn't need to have mermaids. It doesn't need to have it doesn't need to have mermaids. It doesn't need to have the Leviathan or the Leviathan. It could have maybe just a completely new creature as well, or hell, maybe even some extinct creatures as well, like maybe the megalodon, or hell maybe you could even like have other mythological creatures such as Cthulhu. I'm not sure if that creature is copyrighted or not, but considering how big of a company DreamWorks is, I'm certain they'll be able to manage it. But those are just some of my ideas for new characters or new monsters that could appear in a Ruby Gillman sequel. But in all, there are a lot of things in this movie that can be explored upon in a sequel, and Ruby Gillman sequel can work. Films like Rise of the Guardians and The Road to El Dorado never got sequels because they bombed at the box office. But again, they have massive fandoms and cult followings. Hell, Megamind bombed at the box office, and oh wait, yeah, but yeah, you get the point. Films like Trolls World Tour and Puss in Boots didn't do well in terms of reviews and box office, just like Ruby Gillman, but they still managed to get sequels, and they managed to become some of DreamWorks' most beloved films. Like, those films. The Boss Baby as well. The Boss Baby didn't get that good reviews from people, but that got a sequel, and look, not the critics, but look at the audiences. The audiences liked that film, and that was a freaking Boss Baby movie. So this just shows that, yeah, a Ruby Gillman sequel can work if it's done right, and if it's, well, maybe, so considering the success on Netflix or whatever, they might see that, or the success on DVD sales, they might see that, they might actually like give this movie another chance. Like, this just goes to show that something like this happening is quite unlikely, to say the least. But again, I know I say stuff like this in some of my other videos, but it can't stop us from wondering what the future is about. Also, there's a petition I made on change.org for the creators to actually listen to the fan service, and to actually maybe even watch this video. So yeah, a link to that petition will be in the pinned comment in the comment section, guys, if you want to go sign that. But yeah, these are just my ideas of what a sequel to Ruby Gillman could be, and what the possibilities are. Please tell me what your thoughts are in the comments. Tell me what your story for a Ruby Gillman 2 would be, and I'll see you guys in whatever I make next. Goodbye, and happy anniversary to Ruby Gillman.